Duke stormed off, and so did Caleb, while Natalie stood there reeling in shock. What? They set me up? Caleb helped me set up some deal with Duke? Natalie felt sick to her stomach, and she had to confront Caleb ASAP. Later that night, as she was marching up to his door, something caught her attention from the window. It was Caleb's mom, and she was cleaning the house, not looking sick at all. Natalie knocked angrily, and Caleb looked surprised to see her. Nat, I didn't know you were coming. Is everything okay? Can we talk in private? Oh, of course. He walked out of the house with her to her favorite spot, and then she turned to him and pushed him angrily. So, you're the one who told Duke about me when he needed a fake girlfriend? You're also the one who made sure I couldn't say no? You ruined that statue and framed me. How could you do this to me? Nat. And then you acted like you didn't want me taking this job and made me feel guilty? Oh, the caring, possessive boyfriend. But it was your idea all along? You should get an Oscar for your performance. Please, listen, I can explain. You made a complete fool out of me. And you even told Duke I'm just a friend? Caleb, you're such a big jerk. He wouldn't have agreed to have you as a fake girlfriend if he knew we were together. Wow, that's your justification? You just used me like a stupid toy to get money out of him. And not for your sick mom because she seems to be just fine now. Who are you, man? I don't even know you. And it looks like I never did. Nat, it's not like that. Shut up. We're done. Do you hear me? We are done. Natalie didn't wait for his response before storming off. Caleb couldn't stop feeling devastated and broke down to his stepdad. Natalie broke up with me, Dad. Forget about her then. When you have the money, you can marry any girl you want. You're too brilliant for her anyway. Try to target someone rich. Marrying into wealth will give you a lifetime of security. Caleb was stunned at his stepdad's words. He did want to be rich and have a much easier life, but he couldn't forget Natalie just like that. Dad, Nat means a lot to me. I wanted the money, but I never meant to lose her in the process. And why would some rich girl want me, a poor farm boy? I have a plan, and if this succeeds, we're gonna live in the city like royalty. But I need to make sure I can trust you not to mess things up by getting emotional. Of course you can trust me, Dad. Mr. Cross smirked as he revealed his long-time plan of stealing some diamonds and money from the Harrisons. But that's a really big crime. What if we get caught? I've been working for them long enough to know every corner of the mansion. I know when to make the move and how to get away scot-free. Besides, it's not really stealing. Think of this as payment for taking advantage of the poor and treating us like dirt. This is about justice, kid, and your future. Mr. Cross eventually convinced the ambitious Caleb, but he still wasn't ready to let Natalie go. He would try to make her forgive him and win her back. Meanwhile, Natalie almost went to Duke to confront him too and end the contract immediately, but she stopped herself. No, she would play along and get the money he owed her. But it feels disgusting to still play along as his girlfriend. Duke couldn't stop thinking about Natalie. He'd lied to Caleb when he said he didn't want to be involved with her, because the truth was, he wanted to be close to her all the time. The next day, he was attending a huge charity event where he was a big donor and he invited her, but he couldn't help noticing that she wasn't really herself. Her smile seemed fake and she barely said a word. When he took her hand, she almost cringed and pulled it away. When they sat down for dinner, she suddenly spoke. Oh wow, are you kidding me? We're eating dinner costing $1,500 per person while raising money for some poor, hungry kids? So ironic. And you rich people are just so shallow and unbelievable. Natalie, what are you doing? Are you saying the food is overpriced? It's just $1,500, sweetheart. Just $1,500? I wish I was deaf right now because that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Can you please do us all a favor and buy your girlfriend some class? The world would be a better place if you could all buy yourselves some good hearts. Duke was speechless. But just then, he was suddenly called on stage to give a speech. It has been an honor to be part of this event, and I would like to... As Duke met Natalie's glare from across the room, his mind just went blank. While he was embarrassing himself, Natalie went to the bathroom to calm herself down. Just then, she heard familiar voices, Mrs. Harrison and Harper. Mom, I'm really worried about that farm girl. It doesn't seem like a fling to me. I think he's really in love with her, and he wouldn't have invited her here otherwise. and he didn't even do anything after all that stuff she said.
Your brother is such a pain, and I'm really running out of time. Sheila and her family are really pressuring me. We have to get rid of that stupid girl or else.
I'll think of something that will ruin her big time.
I don't want to just ruin her. I want her to disappear. Julie has that poor single mother as family, right?
Right. Oh yeah, we could definitely use her. Mom, you're brilliant.
They then laughed like maniacs as they walked out.
Okay, that's it. Enough of this madness. I can't have them hurting Mom. I have to end things with Duke, now.
Natalie ran out of the event looking around for a cab, but Duke found her before she could escape. You're leaving? Why were you so angry in there? I thought we were friends now and you wouldn't embarrass me.
Friends? You really think we're friends, Duke?
Yeah, I've started to. I care about you, Natalie. And there's something I've been wanting to tell you for a while, but I haven't had the guts to.
What?
I know this will make you even angrier, and
just say it.
A month ago, our gardener introduced me to his son Caleb, and we became friends. I told him about Mom pressuring me to date this crazy girl and how I'd lied about already having a girlfriend. I asked Caleb if he knew a girl who could pretend to play the part for a while. I didn't want anyone from school. And then he recommended his friend, and that's you. And he told me you'd never agree because you hate my family, so he planned to set you up, and I agreed to it. We got you in trouble just so you'd be indebted to me and would be forced to play the part. I feel terrible about doing that to you, and I'm really sorry. I would understand if you're not able to forgive me.
Natalie was stunned. She wasn't expecting Duke to confess. I already know everything. I heard you and Caleb talking about this at the back of the school the other day.
You did? Why didn't you say anything?
I thought, I'll play along since I can't repay you, but I don't care now. What are you gonna do? Send me to jail?
Of course not. You didn't do anything wrong in the first place. We framed you for that statue.
Exactly. I just want to stay far, far away from your family and you.
Natalie got into a cab before he could say anything more. It kind of broke her heart that this was how things had ended between them, but she had to walk away while she could still control her feelings. The next few days, Natalie skipped school. She couldn't bear to see Duke and tried getting her mind off things with farm work.
Hey, Mom, can I help with anything?
It's fine, honey, I got this. I don't know why you're missing school.
Mom, I just need a break, okay? And I would really like to help.
All right. Get some grains from the back and feed the chickens. Just as Natalie returned with her grains, she saw her mom sidestep one of the geese, lose her balance, and hit her head on a rock.
Mom!
Her mom was rushed to the hospital and needed surgery, but Natalie simply couldn't afford the amount. She felt desperate and helpless, and then thought of the one person who could help her, Duke.
I'm such an idiot. Why did I end things with him for free? He made me compromise my values and self-respect. I should get back with him to make him pay the price of my dignity, then dump him again. Ugh, why did I even love this jerk?
Back at the Harrisons' mansion, Duke had been missing Natalie, and his heart leapt when she suddenly gave him a call.
I'm sorry for the way things went down between us the other day. I was just really hurt because you lied to me. Can we meet tonight at the cafe?
I'll be there at 7.
But when he got there, he found Natalie panicking. Duke, I have to go to the hospital right away. Mom had an accident.
He immediately drove her to the hospital, and it broke his heart seeing Natalie cry. Later that day, he heard her talking to the doctor about the price for the surgery. I'll pay for it.
Duke, no, you don't have to.
Just think of it as a payment for all those days you worked for me. He kept insisting, and Natalie pretended to refuse, but eventually agreed.
I don't know how to thank you.
Don't think about it. Let's just hope your mom wakes up soon.
I really hope so too.
Wanting to comfort her, Duke pulled her into a hug, and Natalie just found herself hugging him back. As she lifted her face, their eyes met and her heartbeat became wild. You're so beautiful. When Natalie realized what was happening, she immediately excused herself to the bathroom.
Focus, Natalie. He's a jerk and his family is crazy. Don't get carried away.
Meanwhile, Harper and Mrs. Harrison decided that dinner would be the perfect time to break Duke. So, how's Natalie, darling? Maybe you should invite her to have dinner with us again. She's busy taking care of her mom, who's in the hospital.
Oh, really? We didn't even do anything to her mom yet.
What? Duke, are you sure that's why your girlfriend can't come over? Yes, Mom, I'm sure. Or is it because she's your fake girlfriend and you've been feeding me a bunch of lies? What? What are you talking about? Just then,
Harper started playing Duke and Natalie's conversation on her phone, where Duke confessed that he needed a fake girlfriend because of his mom.
I am so disappointed in you, Duke. You lied to me. You will end this stupid charade now. Mom, just stop it. Stop it with all this pressure. Yes, I lied to you, but you pushed me to do it. And Natalie may have been my fake girlfriend, but I love her now. Nonsense. Get rid of that gold digger and date Sheila instead. Or you can forget about being my son and all these privileges you were born with.
That midnight, Caleb and his stepdad were successful in opening the Harrison safe.
Wow. Dad, we're gonna be rich. I told you, son. Now, let's put everything into these bags. Hurry.
The father and son were almost done getting everything in the vault when the door suddenly burst open and the Harrison security team barged in with policemen. The next day, the news was all over town that Mr. Cross and Caleb had been arrested for theft at the Harrison mansion. Natalie could hardly believe her ears. She didn't love Caleb anymore, but he'd been her friend since they were kids, and she had to see him.
Nat, thank God you're here. You gotta help us. Please, ask Duke to make his family forgive us.
Caleb, why did you do it? When did you become this person?
How can you not understand, Nat? We've always hated those rich people. They've worked our parents to the bone and always mistreated us. Are we less smart than any of them? Or less deserving of a good life?
No, you deserve a good life, but you can't have it by robbing rich people. You have to earn it, Caleb.
I could work for 50 years and never get to where they are. I swear, I didn't want this just for me. I wanted it for my family and for you. I still love you, Nat, and I was gonna convince you to move away to the big city with me once I was rich.
How could you think this is what I'd want? I could never even cheat in tests when we were kids. And I don't love you anymore, Caleb.
But you're my best friend, my only friend. You have to help me. Please, call Duke.
I can't do that. You committed a crime and you'll have to pay for it. And not once have I heard you say that you're actually sorry you did it.
Please, Nat. Who's gonna look after my mom? This'll break her heart. I'm begging you.
Natalie softened and she tried to call Duke, but he wasn't picking up. She promised Caleb that she'd try to do what she could, but hours passed and there was no response from Duke. She then decided to call the last person she wanted to talk to. Hello, Harper? Farm girl? To what do I owe this displeasure? Your brother isn't answering my calls and messages. Is he okay? You tell me. Mom kicked him out of the house last night and basically disowned him, all because he said he was in love with you and wouldn't date anyone else. Dad tried to stop him, but he wouldn't stay. He what? Harper, where did he go? Why should I tell you? Harper, please, tell me he has somewhere to go. And he would still have some savings of his own, right? It turns out he doesn't have any. He had $100,000, or so we thought, but now he's penniless. He wouldn't tell me where he spent that money, but I can easily guess it was on you, you gold digger. She was actually right. Mom's surgery had cost $100,000, and it looked like Duke had given all his savings to me. She tried to call Harper again, who blocked her number, so she had no choice but to go to the mansion.
How dare you come here, you filthy, lying peasant!
I just wanted to ask where Duke went because I'm worried. Drop the act, girl. We all know how fake everything was. My brother was so stupid for actually falling in love with you. Yes, it was fake at first, but I've fallen in love with him too, for real. Please, you have to find out where he went. Suddenly, someone started bawling from the door. It was Sheila with her parents. Mrs. Harrison wasn't expecting their visit, and the blood drained from her face. Who's this girl? Where is my Duke? He's mine. He's only mine. Give him back to me. We are destined to be with each other. Sheila started screaming and breaking everything she saw, and her mom rushed to calm her down. Meanwhile, her dad was furious.
Our poor daughter. I thought Duke was single. What is the meaning of this? This is all a misunderstanding. This farm girl is crazy and… No, we've heard everything. Your son is in love with that girl and you lied to us. What is going on here? Your wife promised she'd repay us for keeping her horrible secret. This is the payment we want. Duke for our daughter.
Liars! Liars! Then suddenly, Sheila's dad took some pictures from his suitcase and showed them to Mr. Harrison.
Here is everything you need to see. Your wife is a terrible woman. We shouldn't have trusted her. And now our princess is emotionally destroyed. This is unforgivable.
Mr. Harrison was speechless. His wife was apparently having an affair with a wealthy politician.
My wife discovered all of this because she's the politician's secretary. He has been giving your wife huge sums of money and expensive gifts for years.
Mr. Harrison looked stunned, and then he lost it.
I've done nothing but love you, given in to every stupid tantrum, giving you everything you wanted, but it wasn't good enough for you, and now you've made our son miserable too, just to cover your own dirty secrets. Get out of my house, now!
No, you can't do this to me, honey. I'll leave him for you. But Mr. Harrison ignored her and ordered their security to drag her outside. Dad, what are you doing to Mom? Can't you just forgive her?
If you want to stay in this house, you will listen to me and stop being such a spoiled brat. Otherwise, you can leave with your mother. Is that understood, Harper?
Yes, Dad. Mr. Harrison then called the police to help him find his son. Natalie then remembered about this secret place Duke once took her to. She went there alone and found him.
Natalie, what are you doing here?
She told him everything that happened, and Duke couldn't believe how terrible his mom actually was. It's time for you to come home. Your dad is really worried about you.
And you? Were you worried?
Why do you think I'm here? And how could you be foolish enough to give me all your savings?
It was for your mom, Natalie. It's foolish not to take care of the people you love, and I love you.
I love you too, Duke. I never thought I could, and I really didn't want to, trust me. But you've made me fall in love with you. I can't help it.
Okay, so in that case, you need to sign another contract with me.
Depends. What kind of contract is that?
A contract to be my baby queen forever.
Oh my God, please don't ever call me that again.
I'll think about it.